Yo, what's up, guys? Just finished a classic challenge. I won it, because this update that's coming out tonight will reset everyone's classic and grand challenge. Not their wins, but like where you are in the challenge currently. So I figured I'd finish this challenge up and go ahead and get it out of the way. I'm playing this Golem Night Witch deck I made with Battle Healer and Barbs instead of the normal Lumberjack and E-Barbs. Although the Evo version of this deck usually runs Evo Knight instead of Evo Barbs and still uses E-Barbs. So against this RG deck, usually it's good to I think you have a really good matchup because you can use your Barbs to counter the RG and they don't have a Fireball or any spell or way to kill the Barbarians really quickly. So they can almost always counter the RG for 0 hits. Sometimes like 1 or 2 hits will get through. If it's evolved, it can be kind of bad because a raged evolve RG is broken as it gets. So here he'll go for the Golem in the back, and he messes up the King Tower activation. Kind of awkward. And I Night Witch behind this. I think I Phoenix first, actually, to kill the Monk, and then it will also kill his Phoenix. I go for a Night Witch like this for some reason. I think I wanted to make sure that Bat spawned and went towards the Phoenix, and that I didn't accidentally target onto my Night Witch. He goes for this really bad rage, and this pretty much just cost him the game immediately. And yeah, so the thing about this deck is it's really, really good at one pushing people, especially in single elixir. It's really good at punishing mistakes and just being pretty OP if their defense isn't solid. And you can see this guy gives up almost immediately. Going on into the next match, though. In this next match, I'm against some dude named Ethan. He's running this Lumberloon deck, I guess you could say. Lumberjack, Lumberballoon. But for some reason, he has wall breakers in here as well. So here I go to try to prevent some damage for a change. Usually I like to cycle to my Evos a little bit before I start playing cards. But I decide sometimes I like to defend. It really just depends on how I feel. I don't always defend wall breakers. Here he just goes all in though, and he even doubles down with some wall breakers. I'm guessing to kite back the barbarians, but they were super unnecessary. And at this point I realized I can't defend the balloon because I have no air counters in my hand. So I just golem the back. And I am up quite a bit of elixir against this guy, like 3 or 4. 4, 8, 5, I think 4. Here I go for a battle healer behind my golem, and then I'm gonna Night Witch with it because that makes a good push. Now, I didn't really think he was gonna go in all in like this, so I didn't save enough for my Phoenix. And then I arrows here to just try and keep my tower alive. And very suddenly you can see this is getting scary. I zap for his bar barrel, and here you notice, wait, my whole push is on his tower. And the snowball comes down and it only does 20 damage, or it leaves me on 20 HP, I should say, and he gets tripled. And I think that is one of the ways to play against this deck, is to just try to go all in instead of defending, because he doesn't have a building or any way to really stop my push. So it was a good try from him, but it really didn't go anywhere. Of course, there's a lot of minor poison in the meta right now. I've faced a lot of minor poison and drill poison. This is minor poison. He goes for the split wall breakers first play. This time I decide not to defend him. Because after the previous game, I was like, let's not waste our elixir defending wall breakers. I think here I just cycle a zap on the Little Prince. And then I just golem. Mostly because it's good to golem into a Little Prince because your support cards will kill the golem. And then I see him go minor wall breakers on the other side. I could have arrows, but I decided I wanted to save my, arrows for offense if I needed them. Here I go Phoenix for his bomb tower. It kind of like flies over to the side and gets in the poison, but his poison wasn't too well placed, and I get a decent amount of chip here. I think I actually take his entire tower. Yeah, because the battle healer, the little bit of healing it does really goes a long way. So at this point I know he has evolved wall breakers in his hand, so I know I have to defend with my barbarians. I even play my Evo bomber on his miner just to reduce the amount of damage he gets. And you can see my battle healer is going in on his king tower, but all in all I have to kind of play into the same lane as him now, because if I abandon this lane he'll take it in like one push, and I have to be careful to not get like lose my tower and then have to play a 2-tower game, which this Phoenix was so bad. It was supposed to be on the Little Prince and it just wasn't. And so now instead of having like a healthy Phoenix, it was looking pretty bad. This time I do defend the minor wall breaker push just because I want to make sure he has to take my tower. I go for the Night Witch in the opposite lane so he can't poison it. I say oops to act like it was on a accident or something, but it wasn't. I go for the bomber behind the golem just to have something behind it, and then I spam my barbarians and healer in the pocket. This zap spell scared me so bad here because it missed, but the golem death damage did kill it. I go for an arrows just to kind of like damage everything down and whatnot. My Night Witch does get on his tower, it does a little bit of damage, but it leaves him with 200 health or so. So here I go for a golem with the intention that he'll play something and I can get an Evo bomber lineup, and he does play the bomb tower, and that allows me to get this nice lineup here and 3 crown him. In this last game I'm playing against Hog EQ, everyone's favorite deck. Everyone loves facing Firecracker Hog Rider. It's probably everyone's favorite matchup. And honestly, what a better way to end a classic challenge than playing against some dude named Jack who loves to spam firecrackers. Anyways, as you can tell, I'm a little confused about what to do about that firecracker because it's gonna kill my barbs. I don't have arrows in cycle. There's no way I can really reach it. So I decide I'm gonna activate my king tower off of it, and then it takes forever to cross the bridge. So I go for the battle healer down low and the Phoenix up high to prevent it from getting any extra shots on my tower, because the last thing I want to have to do is watch it get 8 more shots on my tower. And see, he's already back to another firecracker, and I've just got done with the first one. So I go for a bomber and then a zap, but it still gets a shot. That kind of made me upset. And I knew he was about to be to his evolved firecracker, so I was pretty concerned about how this push was going to go in. But I also knew I couldn't just continue to like wait to push in to him, because if I just sat here and tried to get my cycle right any longer, I was just going to lose my tower and never make a comeback. So I decide to just hope I can cycle to my arrows and my zap in time before he melts my entire push. And that's exactly what I do here. His Evo Firecracker is getting pretty good value, but what he's not focusing on is the barbs heading towards his tower, and I do manage to take his Evo Firecracker off the field with my zap. And then for some reason he decides to Firecracker for the barbs, and then they just kill it. I think at this point I go for a golem in the back, and then he hog riders the opposite lane, so I just go for my Evo bomber to defend. He goes for his mighty miner in the back, so I just night witch because the bats will force him to either pop his ability or play a firecracker or something, maybe an ice spirit. I immediately arrows away his firecracker, and I know he's gonna be to the evolved one really soon, so I'm basically just spamming my cards trying to cycle to my zap and arrows. And then I made a mistake and I zapped behind the bomb tower because I thought that's where he was gonna place it. I try to be like smart and predict it, and it really cost me a lot here. So as you can see, he goes Hog Rider and a bunch of stuff and spams me out really. I go arrows on it, and then of course Firecracker survives arrows because that's perfectly balanced. Here I go for the bomber once again to defend, and then I have to zap because if I don't, those skeletons take my tower. So now I golem the back in the opposite lane, and I'm keeping my barbs in hand because I know he's probably going to Hog Rider as soon as he can, and I can't lose my tower here or else I'm not going to win the classic challenge. So I immediately arrows his Firecracker because heaven forbid that thing get any value. He goes for a Hog Rider and an Earthquake, which is his mistake. Because if he didn't spend those 3 elixirs on the Earthquake, I don't think he would have lost the game. But at this point, I have a Bomber, a Night Witch, and a Golem on his tower, and he's not getting any damage for that. So yeah, that's all for the video. I just wanted to record the games real quick and post because I haven't posted in a while. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.